All right, guys, thank you so much. I just turned on the recording here, so I just want to welcome everybody to the webinar. I do apologize for this. It was a total foobar on my part. Big mix-up on Zoom accounts, and thankfully Damon got this together last minute. He's the real deal. I've worked with Damon for the last 4 years, really 4+ years. And he's an amazing guy, a real down-to-earth internet marketer. Not one of these guys that are on the Aladdin magic carpet flying, going through the city saying a whole new world, the whole song. Don't even get me started on Aladdin. I don't even want to go on that movie today. But this is a real guy, a real internet marketer. He's come up with some amazing tools. And what he's going to be showing you today really rocks the internet marketing sphere, marketing world. He pulls together so many different aspects and helps you do all sorts of different marketing for your local clients, for YouTube, for if you're wanting to do monetization, if you're wanting to rank videos, rank websites, rank blogs, anything and everything. He's seriously come up with a great technology, just like this superhero that you see here on the screen share. And I'm going to turn this over to Damon before I talk everybody to death and them all off. So Damon, welcome.
Well, thanks for having us. Wayne's on the call with me. He's my partner on this deal, and
yeah, hi everyone.
We are excited about getting to show you something that we've only shown to our internal group and some of Tim Parker's friends. We are not even. This is not a public availability right now, and it's going to be made public in February, and we're going to go through a launch process. I hate doing those big launches with JVZoo because it brings out the worst in some of the JVZoo affiliates. So I much prefer doing something just like this. Is we have a good, high quality product, great training, and some great strategies on auto posting and automating content marketing. And so anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started here. That's our Superman, kind of going into this here. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about strategy of doing automated auto blogging type of activities. And primarily, we base everything out of WordPress, but it's not the old WordPress from a long time ago. We have some strategies to use WordPress, but more importantly, what we're doing is we're going to call it newsfeed marketing. So let's get started here. So we're going to talk a little bit about vision. I'll talk a little bit about strategy, and then Wayne's going to come on the call and actually show you some software that works. It's what we built for ourselves, and it's the tactics that we're going to be using with Rss Feeds. And there's one thing that changes everything. And what we did a long time ago, and I used to do this, I'm going to make some promises to you today, is I'm going to show you what RSS feeds are, how to take RSS feeds, which are news. It's a stream of news coming in off all the news stations, all the news websites, and using that news to create your own news aggregator site. And so by the end of the day, or end of this call, you'll kind of at least understand how do you make a news aggregator site and how do you make it work for you to do any type of revenue model that you have with your WordPress site. So we're going to talk about newsfeed marketing specifically. Facebook coined the term back, I guess it was about 7 years ago, but we've been doing content marketing as bloggers and SEO guys. We've been doing this for 10 years. And I started out doing this. This is how I built my internet marketing business, was doing auto blogging. And I got hit about 7 years ago with the ban whenever the Google changed their algorithms. So things have come full circle now. Is you can do a post and you can share a post on your social sites that is not yours. And we've developed the ability to reroute that link that you share on your social post. So you can share the article, share the title, share the pictures, but redirect the link. And that's important because what we're doing is we're newsfeed marketing, but instead of sending it off to the original article, we're bypassing coming back to our site. The 3 steps to mastering this newsfeed marketing is you've got to do auto news blogging. And we're going to talk about this strategy, and then we're going to talk about money hooks. Because once you bring them into your site, or even on the social post, is you want to be able to slightly alter or curate the content of the actual news sites. We've got that ability to curate it on top with money hooks and do it on the bottom of each individual post. We're going to show you how we're going to do this. And what you can do is put your own affiliate links in there. We even have textual replacement going on. And then the follow me principle. We'll talk a little bit about this near the end of the call here. So what is auto news blogging? And why is it so important? The reason is, see this little goldfish over here, is our attention span has gone from 3 minutes for average person down to 3 seconds, which is less than a goldfish. So your ability to capture attention on these news feeds, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, or whatever social platform you're on, you got 3 seconds. How are you going to catch their attention? You got to do it with a great picture and a great, interesting, unique title. Well, if you're not a professional writer or you're a journalist, there's a good chance you can't get both of those mixed together. But if you're a professional writer, you can do this all day long. It's called link bait. And what news sites are doing now, USA Today, Huffington Post, all these news sites, they are actually writing so that it fits on Facebook, it fits on Twitter with a great, interesting title and an image that your mind is trying to put the two together. And what that does is whenever you see it, it causes you to slow down. And if the title is written in such a way, its uniqueness, it's going to hook you into clicking the link. So all news sites, all they're trying to do on the social platforms is get you to click the link. That's all it's there for. So that's what we're building with their content. So what it does is it kind of hypnotizes the reader because they're trying to figure out how everything all fits together with the image, the title, and even the description, and sometimes even the link. They're all woven together in a manner to get people to slow down enough to click through. Proof of this that's working is if you're on any social site right now, you've stopped long enough to read an article and click through. Facebook is using it. You got ESPN, you got Huffington Post. Everybody is using a news curation model now where they're taking articles written, putting them into the social post to get them back into their website. And that's where they're selling with ad revenue, with retargeting pixels. So secret number 1, you got to find passion niches with sites that are constantly posting new feeds that have well-written articles, eye-catching headlines, and scroll-stopping featured images. You can find these just about anywhere. And what we like is we like the celebrity news. I personally like going to TMZ. And I use the TMZ celebrity feeds all the time to draw attention. Wayne has his British, the UK news that he's killing it as far as traffic because he's tapped into TV shows that are really popular. But you can narrow this down if you want to golf sites, retirement sites, any niche site that has a constant news feed coming across that people are clicking through and that are trending and they're social engaging into that passion niches. So secret number 2, you want to have different monetization methods on the post. Now, what we used to do back 10 years ago when we were all, when some of us were auto blogging and making revenue, it was an AdSense model. We had AdSense and we had some ads, graphic ads that we would make occasionally. But AdSense would come in and it used to match up ads to the site itself. That has completely changed. And there's so many new ad revenue models that you don't absolutely need AdSense anymore. Amazon is great. There's Taboola, there's Outbrain. Of course, you could do eBay, Walmart, and you could have your own affiliate sites in there. But there's one thing that's changed that we have noticed is with Facebook Retargeting Pixel on there, if you have that installed on your WordPress site and you're drawing a lot of people in for a particular article about golf or your, like the TV show Love Island is what Wayne's going to show us today, is you now have a big audience that you can define inside of Facebook to do retargeting on that very specific interest. So this is kind of like laser targeting for us. We'll talk more about this. And then secret number 3 is you want to post and promote, is put it into your WordPress site, put it in, and it will auto feed into Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest. And then once you start seeing some traction on a couple of ads or a couple of posts inside your news feeds on Facebook, you can actually promote that one particular post, just get more eyeballs on it. And it brings people back into your site. The cost is cheap if you're promoting a Facebook post itself. And then you want to evergreen the promotions, meaning once you have these posts in your WordPress, there's certain software out there, and I use a program called Missing Letter, but there's dozens of them out there that will take that same content and it will feed back into the social post over the next 12 months. What it does is it reutilizes all that content that you've been putting in there through RSS feeds. It's taken me about 5 years to get to this. The original RSS Master that we created was back in, I guess it's 2015. And now it's a completely new beast. Used to, we just took RSS feeds, mashed them together, and then we had a super feed URL that you could use. But we do something completely different with that now, is we actually create our own RSS feed, and we save everything to the database and then recreate it as a completely unique RSS feed. And if I can do it, y'all can do it too. So there is a big myth out there. It's the duplicate content myth. Is if you're posting the original article straight onto your site, that's duplicate content. But if you're taking their RSS feed and you're putting it on your site and you have some curation going on with it, or you're just doing a partial with a link back to the original article source, that's not considered duplicate content. You're not going to get penalized for it. However, if you're doing a curation model, which we have the ability to do, you're actually creating a new article that Google wants to show people, and they've determined that as high value, is a curated article. So we show you how to do that inside of this new software, but it's really easy to do. And here's the basic thing about duplicate content is it's gone all the way up to the Supreme Court, and there's a fair use doctrine. And basically you have to have purpose and character of use, nature of work, and the amount of work used. If you balance all these together, you can create a curated model. It's easy with our software. We give you the ability to curate it on the fly automatically. Here's one of our guys here is Randall. He uses it for his e-com stores. So if you have Shopify, you could actually blend it in as a Shopify blog post. I put Elvis on there. That's kind of our time break there. What about the other 2 steps we talked about? Well, I'm going to show you at the end because I want to get to the software as quickly as we can, get all the questions in there, because once you start seeing the software and how it can actually build up your WordPress sites with viral traffic, automatically it's a set it and forget it system. I think you'll have some questions that can kind of lead into these 2 other steps. Wayne, are you ready to show us the software?
Oh, I don't know. It's top secret.
I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Sure. It's going to come over to you.
Okay. Okay. Let's move those lovely faces onto the next screen. You can all see my login page.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So as Damon was telling you, hi, I'm Wayne, and this is software that will automate everything that he's been talking about. Now, this is the login screen, so I'm going to log in. I've got a dual setup here, so if I'm not directly looking at you, it's because I'm looking at the screen. Now, when you first log in, you're greeted with a dashboard, which gives you a bit of an overview on what's going on. You can tell how busy my account's been. The red one tells you how busy you've been with the social media accounts. You can see I'm up to 31,000, so we've been running this a good while, it's proven. But the nature of what it does is it takes RSS feeds that have got contenting that you are interested in. So like Damien was saying, if you're interested in building a golf site, then you'll find golf RSS feeds and so on. And then we take those feeds and then we put them into the system. We extract the articles from them, and we can then manipulate and add, remove, take away, include, search for, all kinds of stuff inside. And then we then finally make a unique RSS feed at the end of it with all the changes that you've made. Now that feed then can be put into anything that can take an RSS feed. But the clever part about the software is it takes all the articles it's found and stores them in the database so that you can then schedule them at your own leisure and at your own pace to wherever you want to put them. So the first thing we need to do is, I've got a little document here, and we need to actually, what we call, create a mash. So we're going to mash the RSS feeds together. So I go into my Manage Mash. And the one I've got queued up at the moment actually is like a gaming site. So if you're into, say, Xbox and PS5 and all that kind of stuff that's coming out soon, like a gadget kind of website, then this might be a feed that would be interesting for you. So I'll just wait for that to refresh. A little bit slower with Zoom, and as I always say, I live in the sticks where the internet isn't great. So if I highlight my gaming mash and click on edit, obviously the first time in you click on add and you create a new one, but so I can like shorten the demo from 3 days to like half an hour. We can get you the idea of what's going on a bit more quickly. So the first thing we do is not open that one, I want that one. How many people we got on? I think Zoom's actually pulling me down a little bit.
It's really slowed down.
Yeah, I I've got 30 videos playing as well with everyone's faces. Right. So the first thing we do is we describe what we're making. So you can see here I've got a title called Gaming Mash. And that's the title that will go inside the final RSS feed. So if you were moving the feed to somewhere else, or you're doing it for a client, or it was important, it was going into FeedBurner or anything like that, then you put a title and description that makes sense so that if anyone finds the feed, they'll understand what it's all about. But if you're using this just to get the content, then it's not so important because the final RSS feed doesn't go anywhere. Then you can give it a permalink. So the URL of the final RSS will have certain, our domain /feeds, etc. And then you can put a word in there that will also go into to make part of the RSS feed. So I've got gaming. And then we've got this clever button here, which if the feed's got content from elsewhere, which is going out and linking to other sites. So in this example, if I'm pulling in an article from Xbox, for example, and it might go off to Microsoft, we don't really want that in our feed. So we can tick this box and it will strip out any hyperlinks and just leave the text behind, which is quite powerful. Then if you're only interested in articles with images only, you can tick that box, and then any articles that are quite thin and they don't have images, it will disregard. And then we've got this another clever button that if you're using an RSS feed from YouTube, all that's usually in that is a description and a video and a title, but there's nothing else. When the RSS feed comes across from YouTube, it's just, well, basically there is no content, it's a description and a video. So what we can do is we can flip that and we can say, well, when YouTube videos come in, we want them to be part of the content. So then we can do money hooks and all kinds of things, and then we can push it to WordPress and post the videos and do all kinds of, interesting things with it. So if we want to push that from the description and also put it into the content, we can do that. And then, of course, we've got lots of integrations, which we'll go over after, which allow you to integrate all your social media accounts and things. But you can also add your own domain. And what that allows you to do is the final mash that's created, you can hide the fact that it was done with our tool. So you could say subdomain one of your own domains. So let's say you've got an agency already and you do local SEO. You might have myseocompany.com. So you could create a subdomain of that called the client's name that you're working with. So if they were called the local cake shop, you could put local cake shop dot blah, blah, blah. And then you could include that as a domain, which you'd select from the drop down as you add them all in. And then the final feed would be on that domain so that when you use it and give it to other people, it's completely hidden that the fact that you've used Rss Master Technology. And of course, you can group things together, group clients work together, group website work together, etc. And that's the first tab, which basically gets you going. Then once you've done that, you can move on to, well, the meat happens, where you start adding RSS feeds. Now we've got a CSV upload. So if you've got, say, 4 or 5 that you've sorted out and they're in a text file, you can upload them that way. Or you can simply copy and paste them into this box. You can see here, I've already got this feed down here, which I've preloaded. But effectively, all you would do is you would come into this box, you'd paste it in there, you'd click add, and it would check it to see if it's a valid RSS feed, and it would add it into this box down below. And then it would default how many articles you would like to get at one time. So that's useful for if some RSS feeds may have 30 to 40 new articles in there quite regular. TNZ, for example, would have quite a few. But if you're only interested in the very latest, you can say, well, only get the top 5. I'll filter with those and do whatever I want with those. And then the next time it runs, it will see if any of the top 5 have changed. And if they have, you'll get those as well. And so on. You can change this number to, whichever suits you best. Now, the next field we've got here, this is something that's really, really powerful, which is a whole training course on its own. But the overview of it is in integrations, and I'll open this so that you can see. We've got WordPress, we've got Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, Blogger, we've got Spin Rewriter, WriteKit, etc., etc. And we've also got Integromat and Zapier, which I'll go over later. But here we've got article template. What that allows you to do is you can examine the actual CSS and the code of a website that the RSS feed is pointing to. And you can decide how and what you want to capture from the original source. So if the RSS feed you're using doesn't have any content, it only has title, description, then you can set it up so you can basically train the software to go off to the original source, look for the bits that you're interested in and bring them back. So effectively getting the original content back, and then we put that in the feed, and also we put that in our database so that you can use later. And once you've got your template and it works, you just drop down the list, you pick the template that you know works against the RSS feed, and the system will do the rest for you. It will auto rebuild every so often. It will go and get new articles. It will say, oh, this one's got a template. So for every new article in the feed, it will go off. It will go and get the original content. It will bring it back. It will put it in the feed for you. And if you add more than one RSS feed, they'll all end up in this box at the bottom. And of course, each one could have a different template. Each one could have a different number of articles, and the system will deal with it for you. So once you've set that up, you can do the same with YouTube. So if you found a nice YouTube channel or a playlist, you can copy that and paste it in. So we take a channel, a user, and a playlist. You paste it in there, and you can see here we've got an example. We've got the PlayStation feed, which has automatically been converted. Basically, you just copy and paste it in, and we convert it into the XML equivalent so that it can go off and find the new videos. So every time there's a new video, the system will find it for you and bring it in. Now, the keyword filters, this is where you can decide how to remove or include articles of interest. So if I was only interested in Xbox, for example, I could put in there Xbox. So when the feed gets looked at and the system goes through it, it will say, does it have the word Xbox in the title? And if it does, we'll include that article. If it doesn't, we'll exclude it. And you can also put the same keywords, if you wish, in the description. So now we've said, if Xbox is in the title or it's in the description, then I'm interested in that article. And of course, you could just put comma, PlayStation, comma, Nintendo, etc. So whatever you need, the system will look for, disregard anything that doesn't match, and bring in only the ones that do match. Now the bottom is for negative keywords. So if under no circumstances does my site want anything to do with Nintendo, then I could put that in the bottom boxes. So now, if an article comes in that's got the words Xbox in it, then we keep it. If it's got PlayStation in, then we keep it. But if it also talks about Nintendo, we reject it completely. So this is quite useful for filtering things out that you definitely don't want and accepting things in that you definitely do want. So I'll remove that for now to make sure we get some articles. We've also got a database of adult words. So if you just want a completely safe search, you can tick that box and we'll search a big database of unscrupulous words that we don't want to display to keep your feeds safe. Now the money hooks, this is where you can add all kinds of clever things. You can put anything before the article. You can put anything after the article. And we've also got positioning where you want to manipulate. So we could add things to just the content, because some feeds have got content built in, which is exactly like the feed I'm using now. So if I want to change something in the content or add a money hook to the content, I choose content. But if I want to just add something into the description, I can choose description, or obviously I can do both, content and description. So you basically, we can do anything in any part of the feed. We can also choose any of the feeds individually and only add money hooks to articles that came from a certain feed. Or we can say every article that comes in, we want to put this money hook in. Now we've got some tokens as well, which are, some are pre-built and some are actually bespoke. You can actually make your own tokens. And what a token is, it's a piece of pre-written HTML that under here we've got my tokens, and it's a completely little separate area which allows you to build what I'm going to show you in here. But you could build it separately as a single entity, and then that allows you to paste it across multiple different feeds. And then if in the future you wanted to change something, you'd only have to change it once in the token, rather than change it in all the different places where you've used it. So that's quite powerful for if you've got an affiliate offer, you can build it once, and if that link changes or that offer is no longer relevant, you can just change it in one place, and then the next time when the system builds, it will replace every single feed and every single article with the new information. But some of the pre-built tokens we've got is if you wanted to do citations, we've particularly got a citation token. So if at the bottom of the article we put citation and we embed that, it will push that token into the bottom. And then what that will do is the system will notice that you've used the token, and it will replace it for you when it builds. And what that will do there is it puts the original author, the original website it came from, the date it was originally published, the link back to the website, but not a clickable link, because we don't want to push too much of our traffic source back to the original, but we do mention where it came from. And of course, because we're in an HTML editor, we can simply leave a space, we can highlight it, we can italicize it. And even though we've just italicized the token, that will actually italicize all the replacement that goes inside there as well. So that's that done there. But also, if you just wanted the title, we can do that. If we just wanted the author, we can do that. If you just wanted the original source link with or without the click back, we can do that as well. And all the other tokens are pre-built tokens that I've created to do things like affiliate links, money hooks, etc. So what I'm going to show you here is we've actually got spin tax built in. I'm sure everyone on the call knows what spin tax is. If we put the formatted text with the pipe symbol, so we open the curly brace, and you put words separated by a pipe, then the system will notice that you've put spin tags in the content, and it will run it for you and pick one or the other of each. So what we can use that for, which is really quite nice, is if we go over to the HTML tab, and what we can do here is, I'll press return here. Then you can start embedding affiliate links. Now, I've gone and got an Amazon affiliate account. So I've picked up some code from there. I've done a search for some gaming affiliate links. So we can paste those in here. But I'm not just going to paste one. I'm going to paste 2 or 3, for example. So if we spin it, so if we open up our curly brace and then I paste my first Amazon affiliate code, then I can put the pipe symbol in, and then I can go and get another one. And I can paste that in there as well. Then I can put the pipe symbol again. And then I can put another one. Pipe symbol. And I'll put a 4th one in. And then I'll close off that spin tags with the curly brace. So what we've done there is, rather than just put one affiliate link in, which will appear at the bottom of every article, we've now done it, we've mixed it up. So if I go back to the design, you'll see that we've actually got 4 different Amazon adverts. And they're separated by the spin tags. So when the system generates and looks at the RSS and does all its manipulation and stuff, it will then spin the affiliate links, and it will pick one of those and put it at the bottom of the article. So it's like mixing it up so that not every article has got the same ad at the bottom of it. So here we could have, there's an Xbox One, different kind of offers of Xbox One, there's a PlayStation there, etc. So I'll click update. There you can see that that's saved. So there's a lot of power in this section alone, particularly in the beginning part, where you could write a pre-header, like, look at this great article that we found, I hope you like it, and you could spin those as well and have 4 or 5 different intros from yourself introducing the article, and then at the bottom we've actually cited the article, and then we've got a money hook. But it doesn't just stop there. We've got anchor text. Now, anchor text allows us to search through the content and look for certain words. So, for example, if I type in the word Microsoft, we could then, you could push that to an affiliate link, an Amazon link, or a wiki page, for example. I'll just put Microsoft.com. And then you've got possible occurrences. Naught pauses that, so it doesn't do anything. And then you can choose 1, 2, or 3. So I'll just say once. And what that will do is I'll add it to the list, is if anywhere in the content it finds the word Microsoft, it will randomly choose, if it finds it multiple times, it will randomly choose one of them, and it will hyperlink it to the URL that you set there. So that's creating an outbound link based on a keyword in the article. It could be an affiliate link, it could be a link back to another article on a blog, anything like that. You can add as many of those as you need, and they all just appear in the list at the bottom. And then when the system builds all this for you, it looks at all these rules and it applies all these rules for you. Now, the last but one tab, this is where you can do some damage, really, to really like get it honed into what you want. You can search. Let's say the content you've got has got ads in there that you don't want. This particular feed does do that. So I looked in the code and I noticed, if you see the first one I've got written down here, they actually put a tag in the feed, Google off all and Google on all. And they very nicely told me that when those tags appear, there's going to be a load of ads in the feed. Well, I don't want those. So we simply put in the first box the tag to look for. And in the bottom box, you put the tag to look for. And because we've got remove ticked, it will look through the content for you until it finds this tag. It will remove everything, including that tag, until it finds the one where you want it to stop, and it removes it all for you. Now, that's really useful for things like this particular feed likes to put a little tagline at the bottom of the articles to say, if you've got a great story, send it to, and we'll pay you X amount of pounds. So I've simply put, search for, we pay for your story, we pay for your whatever. I want you to remove it all until you find the end paragraph text. So it's a little bit of like HTML, which you'll have to, you don't have to use this tab. You can just plow on. But this allows you to do some really clever things like adding and removing. Because we can use the replace as well. So if you've got, let's say the word, this is a feed from a newspaper called The Sun. And we could actually put The Sun in there and we could say replace. And if you left it blank, the bottom box, it would just replace it with nothing and remove it. Or you could say, well, eventually I'm going to post this somewhere called the Great News Site. So whenever it found the words of The Sun, it would replace it with the Great News Site. So if that read, and a spokesman from The Sun said, it would now say, and a spokesman from the Great News Site said. You can go as far as you think you ought to with this, but it does allow you to do a lot of clever things. And as you can see, I've used it to hone in this feed and tidy it up and get rid of some of the things that I don't want. And then, of course, you go to the build, and you click build, and we'll wait a little while with Zoom and everything running, and we're going off to YouTube as well. It's usually pretty quick. But this allows you to have a look at what the final mash is going to look like. And then if it's not quite how you want, you can go back, make some changes, come back to this tab, press build again, and see how you're progressing. And if you've got it so that you think that looks nice now, I like that, you can finish and activate it, and then the system will take over. And the server will keep, every so often, it will just keep running and looking and applying all the rules for you without you having to do anything, because you've set the rules at once. The software will deal with it for you. So you can see that it's finished. We've now got an XML button to look at the raw XML, but we've also created a preview web version, which allows us to look at it in a more graphical form. So we'll let that build. You can see there's loads of questions coming across, Damien.
Yeah, I'm answering questions on the chat as you're going through.
Sweet. Now, here you can see we've got the title. It's actually pulled in an article about Fortnite. There's the title, there's the description, and here's the content. There's the pictures. More content, more pictures. It's even got a video. And then here you can see, do you remember we had the token for citation? And I highlighted it and I italicized it. And you can see there that we've now got a full citation, that this article was by Charlotte Edwards. The title was Fortnite Players Shocked After Epic Games Bans Communicating, etc., etc. You can see it was sourced from The Sun and the full URL, which isn't clickable, but at least we've told them where we got it from, and the original published date. But look what's been put underneath. We've now got just one of our Spintax affiliate links. And in this example, I used an Amazon ad. And it's picked Xbox One. So it's important that if you put your money hooks in that have got relevance to the content, if they're reading the content, they're obviously interested in that content. So if you've got a relevant money hook at the bottom, the chances are they're gonna click it. So you can see here that the system's randomly picked one of those ads. And then we move on to Article 2. You can see the new PS5. Scroll down, looking nice. Eventually, you get to the bottom, another video. It's also there. There's the citation, and there's a different Amazon money hook affiliate link. First image of Xbox. Looks like all the new games are coming out this year. And there you can see, do you remember I did, if we found the word Microsoft, I want you to hyperlink it to Microsoft.com. And you see there in blue, it's found the word Microsoft. And if I hover over it, you can see in the bottom left corner, Microsoft.com. So that's now created a link inside the content automatically. So that's quite powerful as well. So I had a political one that I was doing with Brexit and everything that was in the UK. And I was hyperlinking Boris Johnson, and I was sending it back to his wiki page, because wiki's obviously high authority. And if you outbound to such properties, Google kind of likes that you're giving relevance to something that's also of a high authority. So you can do that kind of thing.
Wayne, a quick question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Scott asked the question is, can we do a Spintax on the HTML links on the anchor text?
I'll say no. But ask me next week.
Guys, and I have to tell y'all something too, is oftentimes I ask Wayne, can it do this? And he says, not right now. And 2 days later, he shows me. This software is constantly being improved. In fact, Tim Parker can attest to it. Is over the last 2 months, or the last 30 days, is we've added 4 major improvements to the software. So this is an ever-growing system that we're using in our own marketing.
And there's at least 4 really good ones coming shortly as well. Yeah. It has been mentioned. It's on the list, I think, to be able to do that. So you get the idea. Now, the clever thing about this is those articles, they're not in the database at this moment, because you might want to go back, tweak your settings a little bit, maybe change the money hooks, maybe just play around with it and build it again, and then have a look to see if it's how you want it. And if we'd have stored the first articles in the database, that would have been a pain because you didn't really want them. So we don't store any articles in the database until you finish and activate the main feed. Then the system knows, okay, you've locked it in, you're quite happy with what, let's get to work. And then the systems on the server will start to work, and they'll start building it for you. The RSS feed will be updated automatically, and articles will just start appearing in the database. So what can we do once we've got all these articles? Well, if we go to schedule, obviously you set up your social sites. It's quite simple. I won't waste loads of time by basically, to add a Twitter account, you click a button, you go across to Twitter, it says, is that all right? You say, yeah, your Twitter account's added, that kind of thing. But once you've done all that, you can start managing your scheduling. And the scheduler allows you to post these articles to wherever you want, at whatever time you want. So I've got one that I've set up called Gaming Schedule. You can see I've got a few things going on. So I'll edit the gaming schedule. Now, you give your schedule a name so that it makes sense to you. So like I've called this one gaming schedule, and then you select a mash. If you've got lots going on and you group them, you can select from a group, and then it will filter the mashes for that group. And I'm going to use the gaming mash that we built earlier up here. And you can save these settings as templates, and you can pick templates up here and load them in, and it will just fill all these, saves you having to keep filling them in. If you do the same thing multiple times, or you've got similar schedules for different categories, for example, you can just save it as a template. Down here you say save as template, and it saves it, and it puts it in this list, and it allows you to copy from a template, and all the values from the previous template will be copied into the new template. So as you can see, we've got a start time. So in this example, I'm saying don't post anything before 4 AM and then stop posting after 10 AM. Now, you could say all day if you wanted by saying 23:59. That's a full window of opportunity. If you want to give it a human kind of feel, where you want people to think you're posting them yourself, and that you actually go to sleep, you could say, don't post anything after 9 o'clock, for example, and before 5, and it will just stop. And then you decide how many articles do you want to post on each of the days. So we could say 2 on a Sunday, 6 on a Monday, 3, etc., etc. The next field allows us to, let's say you've got a feed and there's 5 articles been found, and all 5 of those articles are now in the database. It wouldn't be really useful to post all 5 in one go. One, because you want to spread the content out, and you want other eyeballs to probably see it at different times. So what you can do is you can say, how long do you want to wait before you post another one? And you can see here, I've set it to 90 minutes. You can set this to whatever suits you, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, etc. 23 if you wanted to make it look quite human. And the next one is really useful for only giving you up-to-date content. So the database will grow and grow and grow as you keep putting articles in there. But if you're posting to a site that's news related and it's like got to be up to date news, you might say, well, I only want articles that are 24 hours old or newer. So if it's older than 24 hours, don't post it. So it'll just look, it will see how long you've had it in the database, and it will just not post it. You can put a 0 in there to disable that feature, so it posts everything. 48 is a good one, depending on what your end goal is. Now, once you've set that up, you've got this box down below, which allows you to tell the system where to post to. So we simply click Add, and then we can choose. The first thing we always do is we choose a WordPress site. And I'll just pick, I've got one here called Cars. And what it does is as soon as you set up your WordPress sites, it pulls in all the categories for that site. So we can just pick a category and, you know, Aston Martin. Obviously, this is a cars blog. But you just pick a category where you want it to post to. And then you can post it as draft. You can quote the author if you wish. You can also do it like a read more post. What that does is it allows you to just post the title and a link back. And that allows you to build sites that are similar to the Drudge Report. If you've never heard of that, take a look at the Drudge Report later. Allegedly, so I've been told, that website, even though it's as ugly as it is, makes $1 million a day in ad revenue. It's ridiculous. So we can kind of like mimic what that's doing with that. But what we use this for is I want to post it live and I want it to be a draft. Any images it finds in the feed, in the article, I want the first one to be the featured image. I also want it to upload all the images. So it goes into the content and it looks for all the images, it extracts them, and it actually uploads them to your WordPress so that they're actually on your site now and they're not external on the original source. So, I mean, if that picture ever went away, your site would have a missing image. So you can push the images to your site. And then this one is, do you want to post the whole content? Well, yes, we do. Now, because we're posting the whole content, all the images that are also in the article are going to be there. And then dependent on the theme, you don't want the featured image to be inside the blog article as well, because it will look as a duplicate. So we thought of that. You can tick that box, and the first image will be excluded from the post, so it doesn't duplicate. But if you haven't got a theme that does that, then obviously you can leave the tick out. But we put that in because most themes do that. And then if you've got Spin Rewriter integrated, you can tick and you can spin the title and you can spin the description if you wish. In this example, we're going to post everything as is because the content was actually in the feed, which is kind of public domain to some degree. I mean, we did cite it as well in the feed. So I'm not going to do any spinning, but the ability is there. And we've also integrated the use of link processor. And what that does is it automatically will call link processor with your posted URL and distribute it to hundreds and hundreds of different places to get your post noticed in all the search engines, etc., etc. I'll leave that blank for now, and I'll click Update. So what I've done here is I've set up a post to go to WordPress in this particular category. So when the system finds new articles, it will look at the schedule, it will adhere to the rules, and it will post articles to WordPress. But we don't just stop there, because what we can do now is we can do some clever backlinking. So we can now tweet this article to Twitter. So we choose the Twitter account. I'll just choose mine. And then it opens up this really clever option. You can tweet the original article if you wish. But what we've built here is, well, we're actually populating our own WordPress site. So when you tweet this article, I want you to tweet my WordPress site that I've posted there. So it automatically will know to use the URL that it's posted. So the system's posted this WordPress article. It will grab the URL of that article and it will tweet it for you on the Twitter account that you've chosen. And not only can we do that, we integrate Rightly. What that Rightly does, I mean, if I just untick that, you can put your own hashtags in here if you wish. You can type them in. But we've integrated Rightly because what that does is it will automate the generation of hashtags that are relevant to this article. So when it tweets, it effectively it passes the description to get the hashtags that are relevant, and it goes off and it looks across the web to find out what are the most relevant tags for this article. And you can say, how many tags do you want? And I'll say, well, I'll have 2. You can also use Rightly to get you emojis. So it picks emojis and also puts them in the tweet as well. So when you're scrolling down Twitter, when you see it, you can see that these emojis, they stand out, and it makes you stop for, even if it's for half a second, it's enough for someone to go, oh, what's that? But because we've got our WordPress site set up correctly, when we tweet our own links, the featured image comes across as well on Twitter. So we've got an image tweet with hashtags and emojis all happening automatically. And we can link processor this one, because we then get the tweet URL back into the software. We then pass it to link processor. Link processors will it's looking at the system and it's looking at all that you're doing, and it will automatically send it to you just by ticking that button. So what we've done now is we've got our WordPress site, which is our main money site. We've now got a tier 1 tweet going on, which we're automatically link processor in, which will give us tier 2 when we click update. Now we can carry on and we can go to Pinterest and we can do the same. I think you get the idea now. You pick a Pinterest account that's relevant. It will automatically get the boards for that Twitter account. So I'm going to pick reviews from experts. I want it to post my WordPress link. Of course, I want hashtags. Of course, I want emojis. And I also want it backlinked. So in the click of a few buttons, we've now created a Pinterest backlink. So it will pin the featured image into your board with hashtags and emojis. Another tier 1 backlink, which will then get link processor, creating link 2, creating multiple going back. So we've created multiples into Pinterest and Twitter, which then go back into your WordPress site. Click update. Click add again. Now we've done something really clever with Blogger. In your Google account, you can set up as many Blogger blogs as you wish. And then you can use those in Master Tech, and you can send all the content to it if you want, and you can build a blog there. But what we've used it for as well is to create another backlink. And it's the backlink with the power of Google as the domain. And Google loves its own content. So you choose Blogger, you choose the Google account, you choose a blog, you can't post the whole content. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to post title, description, and the first image. And I want it to go back to the WordPress post link. So what this has done now is it's creating a little mini blog using Blogger with the title, a short description, and a nice image, but then it will automatically put read more underneath, and that read more will be the WordPress link that the software posted in the first place up here. So we've now created another backlink from Blogger to your WordPress blog. And of course, we can click Use Link Processor again, because when we've posted it, we get the URL automatically back from Blogger, which we then send to Link Processor, again building tier 2 links. Now, one of the strategies that I use is for every category on my WordPress site, I create a Blogger blog. So if I've got 3 or 4 categories on WordPress, I'll also have 3 or 4 Blogger blogs individually backlinking to each category. But really, it's backlinking to each article in each category. Really powerful. Click Update. Now, you're thinking, well, that's marvelous. What else can it do? Well, we've integrated Integromat and Zapier. So what that allows you to do, in the integration section, we've got an area where you can webhook into Integromat. Now, there's full training, so you haven't got to worry about how it's done. But basically, we get a unique webhook from Integromat, and we drop it into Master Technology. We then give it a name to say, this is going to be my Facebook group for Xbox, for example. So you created a Facebook group in Facebook. You can then webhook from Master Tech into Integromat, and Integromat can grab the information about your article and post it to your Facebook group automatically. And Facebook group was just the one example that I thought of. But there's lots of other things in Integromat that you can do. So now we've got the hook into Integromat, you can do all kinds of things with it. Facebook pages, anything. And basically you just choose, you can see here I've got a politics one that goes to Facebook group. I've done one to LinkedIn. I've even done one to Tumblr. So you can build a Tumblr blog via Integromat, via Rss Master Tech. Now, once you've set all this up, all you need to do is click on Finish. You activate it, and it's live. I won't activate it there because I don't want it to go off posting things. But what will happen is the system now knows you've got your MASH live, you've got your schedule live. It will just deal with it all for you. It will build the MASH, it will extract the articles based on all the rules, it will do all the money hooks, it will do all the extraction, it will completely do all the links that you've changed, and then it will schedule it based on your rules. So it starts filling up your WordPress, it starts backlinking for you, it's creating a Pinterest account for you, it's populating all those other, Twitter, it's creating Blogger blogs, all pushing juice back to the original. So you can see the power of what we've got. I've tried to cram it in, not too fast so that you don't know what's going on, but obviously it's quite detailed and we could be here all night really. But I think I've given you a really good overview of what's possible with our software.
Yeah, Wayne, let me take over the screen because I want to show everybody. Here's what news aggregator sites look like, and let's dive in and look at some of them. Do you mind if I share my screen here?
Yeah. Do you want me to just show you some screen grabs of analytics?
Not right now. We'll catch it near the end of the call. Okay. I'm going to share my screen now. You should see the gorilla.
Yep.
Okay. I'll let you answer the chat calls as we're going through here.
Sure.
Guys, thanks for, I know this call's getting long, but there's so much content. And what Wayne showed you is how we create a customized RSS feed for you if you want to use RSS feeds. But we also create customized posting schedules that go to WordPress, and it backlinks out to the social networks. And we didn't even go into Integromat or Zapier, but we have a webhook that can go out through them in the schedule so that you can, with Integromat, you can do hundreds, just like Zapier, hundreds of different postings as social sites through either one of those, which would be Tumblr. I think you can do Instagram with Zapier, Reddit, all the different social platforms. But before we get started, let's see what some of these sites look like. Now, I've had a few of these sites for over 4 years, and I make money on them through AdSense. I also make money through Facebook retargeting. That's the thing y'all got to keep in mind. These are traffic funnels. You get the right articles going out to Facebook or Twitter, and it comes back to you as organic and social views. So this is an exercise program. I've got content coming in just about different exercise programs, training tips, and they're all being fed by RSS feeds. I don't do any marketing whatsoever on this, but I have a Facebook group and a Facebook page that I get traffic off my Facebook and definitely off of Twitter and Pinterest. Here's a hamburger, and if you'll notice, I'm using the themes almost look identical. Well, they are. I use a Zox, Z-O-X news theme off of ThemeForest, and these are just two of the sites I built with that one theme. But they don't have to be all look alike. This is using Bimbo. Bimble is the name of this theme. It's on ThemeForest. It's the hottest viral theme out there for news articles. The thing I like about it is it has questions and polls and personality surveys and videos. So you can do a whole bunch of stuff, and it has the snacks voting. So people can vote on your article, and it moves it up in the rankings here. What's the most popular and what's hot and trending. So this is out of the box, a theme, and I put in maybe 20 articles of myself, and I've had this RSS super feed. We started it about 3 days ago. So this is, if you're in VidPenguin, this is what we're going to use for VidPenguin. Is we're going to create a whole bunch of niche specific categories. We're going to build up a viral news site, and then we're going to start doing video embeds in the back of this site. So you're going to pick up our domain authority into your own videos. So this is, it's a long-term project for the next 6 months. Is we're going to be slamming this with a bunch of different news and viral and trending and social articles to build the domain authority with it. So that's one. And then this is Wayne's. And now we've got other sites, but we want to show you our demo sites. So we're not really giving away the bank when we're showing our demo sites. But this is where he's getting a lot of traffic, and it's all from one news source, right, Wayne? Or do you have multiple news sources?
One news source.
One news source. But he's using filters on that one news source to create different categories. And this is all Brexit news. It's TV show news. He's got AdSense in there. And this is an AdSense ad. And so a lot of these there's a lot of these will pick up a lot of immediate traffic. So it could be posted in the news, picked up that same evening inside of RSS Master Tech, and then be posted onto this WordPress site within minutes after it's picked up by RSS Master Tech. So this is it. Each of these, people are not landing on this landing page per se. They're actually landing inside of the post. And the organics, we're getting traffic organically from SEO on these posts. And so it's a short article. It's got some AdSense in it, but it is straight from RSS feeds. Now, Wayne, I think you used templates a few times on these, right? To actually go back and do an article scrape, or all these straight from RSS feeds?
This site is, all the content is in the feed, but I do use the advanced tab to clean it up and remove things I don't want. Okay.
And so I didn't show you this one. This theme right here, it's a free theme on WordPress. It's called Newsium, and they have an upgrade if you want to pay for but it's a pretty good looking little news feed. And I'm building this for our client, and we have a done for you service if you want me to build out the sites. But this is all about fishing, bass fishing, deep sea fishing, fly fishing. So these are good looking articles, and the promotion side of this, how we're going to promote it, is strictly through Twitter, Facebook, we won't use LinkedIn, but Pinterest. And Pinterest, when you put in fishing ads, this is a high passion niche. The people spend a lot of money on their boats, their equipment and tools and everything. And right now we've got it set up for AdSense approval. And then I'm going to be tying in RSS Master Tech. I built this 2 days ago. And so it doesn't take long to build these sites if you get a news theme with it. And the cool thing is we had a call yesterday. It lasted almost 2 hours, and it was all about how to build these news sites in WordPress and the things that you need to look for in setting this up. So these are kind of the themes. This is all they are is news aggregator sites. I'll go back over here to our PowerPoint here. Any questions? I guess you're answering all the questions then.
There's no new ones at the moment.
Okay, cool. Okay, the software is called Rss Master Technology. And we started with the concept of using some of the good ideas in RSS Master, but we completely rewrote it, or Wayne and his team completely rewrote it. So not only are you building a feed, but you're using the scheduler to do all the heavy lifting, all the work for you on automatic. It takes a little while to set up. You know, some of these feeds you can set up in 5 minutes, and some of them may take you 30 minutes if you're doing the advanced and the money hooks and everything else. But it's to set it up to do automated blogging, because once you set it, it's a set it and forget it technology. So you can build multiple WordPress news aggregator sites and to do automated blogging. This is one Christian, he talked about blogging here, is he likes the Google Ads account reporting. He's getting ad revenue every day. Now, it's not a lot. Sometimes it's $1, sometimes it's 10. And I think his maximum was like 22. But that's every day. He doesn't touch the site. He doesn't do anything with the site at all. We have that keyword filtering. So like I mentioned earlier, Wayne is doing one news site, and he's using filters to put it in different categories in the WordPress. And to find, I think you're doing Brexit, you're doing, what's it, Mexit now, or what's the mega?
I do one called Royals, which is all about the royal family.
Okay.
And particular shows on the TV are quite good to do. Things like Love Island, celebs go dating, anything like that. You know, people just love it. They just search for it.
Yeah, and if they're searching for it and we've got a good title on it, it does get picked up organically. and here's Robert. He's seen an increase in organic traffic from using this. The more news articles you put on there, the more traffic you get. And once they get into your news site, if you have it set up correctly, like a news theme, and I like Bimble because it has other social engagements besides these news articles. If you've got it set up right, they're going to jump around and look at the different news articles, just like we do when we go into TMZ or you go into, I look at Bleacher Report, and I'll come in on Bleacher Report, see one article, and then I look at my watch and it's 30 minutes later and I'm still in Bleacher Report reading about different sports links in there. So, but one of the things is when you're looking at RSS feeds, they created an RSS standard, which that means there's a bunch of different variations. And we use this code extractor to clean up the feed. And it is going back down to the HTML level, but it gives you that control so you can clean it, make it exactly the way you want it before you put it into WordPress or before you build a full RSS feed post with it. Here's Dan. He likes the power scheduler. Allow him to turn his feed into scheduled posts at the times he chooses. Now, one of the things you got to keep in mind, some of these RSS feeds, they will go crazy on you. I had a RSS feed and it was, it had Donald Trump on it. And this was 4 years ago. And I didn't have a scheduler. And I looked at my WordPress site that I was doing at the time, and it had like 60 posts immediately when he announced he was running for president. And I eventually just had to turn the RSS feed off because my news site was completely dominated by politics and Donald Trump running for president. So that gave me the idea is I got to have some type of pressure valve that, stops it stops these feeds from just running on. The Kim Kardashian, I had a TMZ feed on Kim Kardashian, and guys, there was a nip slip. And when that happened, the RSS feed went crazy with, all the different TMZ posts on there. And so by using the scheduler, we throttle it down to the times that we choose and to the articles that we choose. So we call it our turbo post scheduler. Retargeting, you're building traffic funnels really with this. And if you see a certain post getting a lot of traffic and you got your retargeting pixel, go build a custom audience in Facebook and send a Teespring or send T-Launch, any of the immediate e-coms that you could send into Facebook. Design, if you've got a Meghan Markle post in there and you get 1,000 people hit it in a 1-2 day period, that's a custom audience. You can quickly define that in Facebook as a custom audience, and then you can put in your own Teespring campaign with a coffee mug like this that says, "We'll see you in Canada, Megan." So play upon the news. The news is what people are reading, and you can immediately follow it up with your own marketing campaigns. And what I love is the article emulator templates. What Wayne didn't tell you, this is an article scraping tool if you want to use it. Now there's different strategies and ways to do auto blogging and content marketing. Of course, we're going to call it newsfeed marketing, but you can actually go back to the original article, pull out content and post it in there if you want to do that. We give you the tools to do it, and we're going to have a marketplace where we're going to sell templates that we've made for particular RSS feeds. So I'm going to skip that slide here. So today, because Michael and I have been doing business for a long time, here's the link. It's RSS Master /Michael Bose. Now, before you purchase, if you will use a coupon code, we're going to give you 25% off. I appreciate the time that you spent with us on this call. But I want to make sure we have a one-time price offer and we have a yearly offer. Now, come February, we're shooting for a February 7th where we're going to go monthly. and it will be a monthly price for this. And as soon as, if you stop paying monthly, your RSS feeds go away. But giving you a one-time price now with this 25% off, and it's good for 48 hours. And I think it actually goes through the end of Monday. And this date, don't consider the date. I had this PowerPoint made and I forgot to change the date. And what we're going to give you in addition to the actual software is we got 4 weeks of training. And some of the guys that have already taken the training, in fact, Tim Parker's on the call, they'll tell you is we're going to dive deep into not only how to use the software, how to do the code extractor, how to build your templates, but we're going to talk about the strategy behind auto blogging and how to set up your WordPress site. How do you find RSS feeds? That's the #1 question. How do you find RSS feeds? Well, there's a complete course inside of this, but we also talked about it on our mastermind course. Now we're on week 3 and we're going to have week 4 next Thursday, but we put all the recordings, all the links inside of a Kajabi portal. And I did a course 3 years ago, and it's called the Perfect Buyer Blueprint. And I completely outlined how to make these auto blogging sites using RSS feeds. Now, it's dated a little bit. I was using a different plugin instead of the RSS Master, but the concepts are the same as far as building the site, the same theme setup and everything. And this tool, this course, you can actually hand off to a VA and let them watch how to build a WordPress site for news aggregators, and they can actually take this and run with it. I'll also show you how to monetize your news aggregator site. This course originally sold for $9.97. It's included in the package that we have for Michael. So we're going to have a 25 favorite feeds in there. You got the Perfect Buyer, you got the Mastermind course with it. We also have some bonus training courses. One of my previous careers, I was a domain name broker. And in 2012, I was probably the most sales I had in domain sales. I had over $2 million in domain sales. I think it was 3,500 different domains I sold to about 300 different buyers. I know a thing or two about selling domains, how people value domains. And I had a little mini course about how do you find domains? If you're going to start one from scratch, how do you do it? Which extensions? Very, very important. If you're going to build an asset, you're going to build this thing up, you want to be able to sell this as a business down the road. You may decide, hey, I want out of internet marketing. I want out of what I'm doing. I want to retire. And you got a dozen of these and they have really good .com names. You can sell them because it's a revenue source for you. So that course is included. I've got a viral reach training course in there. And a couple other things, but we talk about RSS super feeds and IFTTT. So if you want to use that you can certainly use IFTTT. We like Integromat because it's $9 a month is all we're paying. Zapier's fine, but it's a little bit more expensive, but you get more integrations with it. Okay, using the system, what you're going to see is it's faster than ever to get fresh news articles delivered to your WordPress, and then our system backlinked it to all the social sites using what we have is built-in integrations, but also using webhooks through Integromat or Zapier. So you can backlink it back to your original article, or you can, what we like doing, we swap the links. So we go back to our WordPress article instead of the original article. We have a 30-day money-back guarantee on it. It's, if you don't like it, we'll give you back your money. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is a long-term revenue-building model. I know there's a lot of JVZoo products that they don't stand behind their products after 30 days, 60 days, they're off to the next product. This is our tool that we're using ourselves. we're building it with the feature set that we're going to be building these sites, these revenue producing AdSense models, or what I like to use them as my traffic funnels. So this is, if you're not interested, you've tried it out, 30 days, just give me, send me an email and we'll get your money back for you. Like I said, this is not a GRQ or SOS. GRQ, if you don't know, get rich quick, and SOS is shiny object software. Wayne doesn't take offense to it, but the look and feel of this is going to improve down the road, so where it's more web 3.0 friendly, but it's got a lot of checkboxes. It's got a lot of drop downs, and we may streamline it down the road, but we did that with the intention to give you a tool that you can customize to the way that you want to do your marketing, your content marketing strategy. Wayne and I have two completely different marketing strategies, and it's fine. We're using the exact same software to do that. And we'll talk about that in the mastermind course that we have, the 4-week training. And okay. So order today, we've got a value of about $27.97 in just the bonuses alone. But you're going to get the software. You're going to get complete training on how to use the software. In fact, you may look at it going, "Wow, can't they make it shorter?" But we want, and here's the neat thing. When Wayne goes over and does the training, the step-by-step training, he actually checks the box so you can see, the checkbox works, but he gives you a little bit of marketing strategy of when you would want to use the checkbox and when not to use it. So that's important when you're going through there, is if you have a question, should I use this feature? Well, we've got training on how to do all this. So we talked a little bit about money hooks. He showed you in the software about the money hook. So I'm going to go over the last two strategies we had in that 3 strategy setup. Is money hooks. I use the money hooks to do a curated content model, meaning above the content, I'm going to spin up 3 or 4 different sentences talking about the content below. And we have tokens. The tokens are title, author, the link itself. So you can build a sentence around the title. You can build a sentence around the author, and you can do spin versions of that curation model. The money hook on the bottom, it can be URLs, and you can put URLs up on top. You could use your citation source in there. But there's a lot of different things. Is if you have the ability to take somebody's good content and add to it, we give you that ability to add to it. And what we call it is you're actually bookending the content. You've got good content, and we're going to give you the ability to bookend it. And strategy 3 is the follow me principle. With the follow me principle this is the retargeting model. Is put retargeting in at your retargeting pixel, your Facebook pixel. You can even use Pinterest. You can use, I think Twitter has a retargeting. And most of the social sites, if you're going to do advertising on them, they have a retargeting pixel. I like Facebook. I've been using Facebook forever. So what I do is I put my Facebook pixel in there, and I build custom audiences based on the traffic coming in on specific posts. This makes a great way to, somebody visits your post, and within a day you have an article right back to them. Not an article, but you have an offer for, like I said, a t-shirt, a coffee mug, anything that you could sell on Facebook, and to a specific audience. So somebody that is really interested in deep sea fishing off the Florida coast. That's one of the ads that we have, or one of the posts that we have in there. You can do a Facebook ad targeting those people, those 300-400 people that came in off that post, and you can create a lookalike audience. So target that 300 people with maybe it's a commission junction, a travel agency offer. to go deep sea fishing off the Florida coast. Well, you know they're interested in it, and now you have the ability to retarget them. So that's why we like using trending news feeds, is we let somebody else write the great title, do the picture, and do the article, and we just piggyback on top of it. Okay, so that's more the laser targeted. This is how you get your laser targeted audiences to do Facebook marketing. So again, I'm going to leave this up here, but Mike's our hero. This is a hero call with Mike. We've been doing business, we've been probably 5 years now. And I've enjoyed talking to Mike because he's a young guy, but he knows so much more than I do about video marketing and video ranking. I've learned a lot from him, and I've sat in on some of the mastermind calls, and it's just incredible the ideas and strategies that he has on every single call. And that's why we wanted to give you this offer, is kind of as a thank you for Mike, is I want to give you 25% off this. And again, it's not good through 120, it's good through 127 really.
That's amazing. So this coupon code, is this for the yearly? I mean, for the lifetime?
It's for the lifetime, yeah. I think
lifetime,
it works on the yearly too. Yeah, they could choose either one with the coupon code.
Okay. It looks like we already had a purchase. So I believe that guy did not use the coupon code because he didn't have it at the time.
Okay.
So Michael M. Bose, whoever the heck you are that used my name, I am the real Slim Shady. I can definitely stand up here. I'm the real Slim Shady, all right? But whoever used my name and purchased, reach out to Damon and we'll get you taken care of.
Yeah, we'll
anybody else that purchased as well. But that's awesome on the 25% off. I didn't know about this. That's really, really a super good deal. I know Scott Podcast Viper was asking about that. He sent me a private message. He said, I saw a slide with 25% off, man. I was like, no. And he was like, yes. I was like, no. Well, here it is. So Slim Shady made a mistake. Yep.
Well, and the cool thing is when you have this software, it doesn't directly integrate with your Viper, but what we're doing is we're using this to create feeds and to create, I mean, we're building VidPenguin too. And I don't know if we've probably got some VidPenguin owners. VidPenguin was one of the original video ranking tools. I mean, it's old, but it used all these link variations and it did some link processor and backlinking and stuff like that. But what Mike has now goes way beyond what we ever even considered with VidPenguin. And so y'all are probably very proficient at ranking videos. But what we want to do is we're going to build some high domain authority sites and give you the access to do video embeds in back of these high domain authority sites. They are going to be news sites. In fact, you saw the one, my RSS super feeds. That's exactly what we're building it for, is to get higher rankings on our videos. And that's one of the main reasons that we kind of integrate the VidPenguin's going to be using Rss Master down the road. So if you're a VidPenguin member or you go to VidPenguin down the road with us, you're going to be able to use your Rss Master agency account if you got it now.
Yeah.
Are there any questions that I could answer, or are you catching most of them, Wayne?
It's slowed down a little bit.
Okay.
I think he did use according to this, I think he did use the discount code.
Yeah,
we'll find out. We'll find out.
Just hit apply. I looked at it earlier, and I think it works fine now. I'll hop over here.
Yeah, I believe he did.
Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, once you hit apply, the code, that's what it's going to look like. And I just have, and then you got to put in your card in there and then hit complete purchase.
Totally.
Okay. And we're right at an hour and 45 minutes. If there's no more questions, and you can leave questions in Michael's Facebook Live, and we'll come back and answer them over the next day or two. But I think this is a pretty decent deal for, especially if you're building websites.
Are you kidding me? This is a killer deal, Damon. And what you were saying earlier, sorry, I was looking for my Slim Shady immature, so I wasn't able to comment. See, I am the real Slim Shady. All right, so anyways, with this is an amazing tool. This is an amazing tool, and it works perfect with Viper. You know, if you're doing Video Viper, if you're doing creating your feeds for your videos, if you're doing Tumblr Viper, which is sick, really sick. So if you're doing Tumblr Viper, this is perfect. Setting up your custom feeds, going through exactly what Damon showed of setting up custom feeds, going through and setting up the Tumblr links, the auto integrate, all the integrations, sending out all the stuff. This is perfect. This is perfect. And anybody in marketing really should be doing this. RSS feeds are amazing, but the way that you've set up your tool to work with them is just blows your mind. Absolutely blows your mind. So anybody doing any type of marketing should be doing this. I don't care if you're doing monetization on videos, on channels. I don't care if you're doing video marketing, if you're doing local marketing, international marketing, if you're selling a yacht over in France, you should be using this to set up feeds and set up your videos and drive constant content. And that's what the RSS Master is really, really good at doing, is sending in content, posting out content, setting up your personas, sending out constant information, taking that and aggregating it. And that's the real secret sauce of it. So if you're wanting to really dominate on the web and you're wanting to seriously get your information out there on autopilot and having this stuff go out, post after post after post after post, feed after feed, this is it, guys. This is it. I mean, everybody should be using this tool. Everybody.
And here's the cool thing is, if you don't want to send traffic to WordPress, you don't need to. I mean, you have an RSS feed that is custom built for you now, and you can send it back to the original article. So instead of using Hootsuite or Buffer or Q to feed it in, you could populate your social post. And I do this, is I populate my VidPenguin groups, my RSS Master, and a lot of Facebook pages with just good, interesting, engaging articles. And I do it through RSS feeds and into RSS Master and then back out. And I use webhooks. I use Integromat, and I take my RSS feed, hand it off to Integromat, and then start shooting it out to the different social platforms. Very easy to do. So there's different ways that you can use the tool, but it's what you got to think of. If you want the freshest, unique, trending content in the world, you've got to be pulling from RSS feeds. So that's all I really had to add on it. Michael, is there anything that we need to, questions or anything?
There's a couple of questions here I see. You know, I believe it was Scott was asking, or Jacques was asking. You know, he has tons of questions. Do you have a group that they can ask these questions in?
Yep. Yep. RSS Master group. I don't have the link with us, but you can type in
inside the software, on the dashboard, Facebook support, there's a big blue box.
Okay.
That's a link straight to the group.
Okay, perfect. And Amy was asking, can you use TikTok with this somehow? Have you figured out how to connect it with TikTok?
Not at the moment.
Yeah, I think there's a way, but I just haven't gone there.
They're a bit funny automating it. Instagram doesn't give you much to be able to auto post.
Okay,
TikTok's
for that, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's a great platform too. That's awesome.
And I see there's one from Amy about, does it actually make the Pinterest and Twitter accounts? Now you have to go out and create your own accounts, but it will make the post to go into the accounts.
Yeah, and here's something really interesting. I just want to add this in real quick. Pinterest is a super traffic area. For those that don't know this, I wrote a blog many years ago. Obviously, I didn't pay much attention to the blog that I created. It was on losing weight. And obviously, with all the chins I have, it didn't stick. But I had this diet that I did during Lent, and I said, you know, okay, in like 35 days, I lost X amount of pounds and 3 chins. Okay, 2.5. But anyway, so I created this blog, and I put it out on Pinterest. And that one post generated 6,000 traffic views per month from Pinterest.
Wow.
6,000. And I just put it out on a post. I put it out on Pinterest, set up a board, got it shared out to a few other women, and those women took that blog and they went nuts with it. And they started sharing the pins, and the pins were getting shared here. It was being aggregated there. And before I knew it, my blog was getting 6,000 visitors a month off of that one Pinterest. So think about that. When you're setting up your RSS feeds, oh my gosh. You were talking earlier, Damon, it made me really excited about the AdSense, adding in ad revenue in, right, for these different things. Just for people that are wanting to do AdSense, you could set up a blog on Baby Yoda. Okay, Baby Yoda, set up a blog on Baby Yoda, set up a Pinterest, set up RSS Master, grab all that content. Every time the Mandalorian would be, you know, a new Mandalorian content coming out next year, I think, when they release new parts of the show. Every time Baby Yoda so much as burps into the camera, it pops out a picture, it pops out another picture, it pops out another picture, another Pinterest, another feed, another image, another video going out, constantly driving in the Pinterest. I tell you what, your views are going to pick up. Your views are going to be coming in. You're going to be getting traffic in. You talk about AdSense, setting up your blogs. For those guys that are using Tumblr Viper, okay, now that tool does create blogs. It does create with the accounts. You can create the Tumblrs. Just this past week, I created 300 Tumblrs.
Wow.
Now, they weren't the highest quality Tumblrs. When I say that, they weren't the highest authority, but I created 300 accounts. Okay, so imagine taking those 300 accounts, setting up RSS Master on them, having your content coming in and going out through it, right? And setting up AdSense on those Tumblrs. Imagine having AdSense added onto them. And you have all these feeds coming in from Pinterest, from Twitter, from everywhere else that you have. Mashable, everything. And you have everything driving it in with RSS Master. That's money in the bank. That's money in the bank. And it adds up. And you may think, well, I made $1.25 this month off this one Tumblr. Okay. Create 1,000 Tumblrs. Now you have $1.25 per Tumblr coming in on 1,000. It adds up quickly. And people may think, well, that's just crazy. It's not crazy. The only crazy thing are those people that are not taking action. If you're not taking action and you're not buying this and you're not getting in on this deal and you're not setting up these feeds and you're not pushing the RSS Master, you're the crazy one. And I'm not judging. I'm just saying. Just saying. This is an opportunity to go wild online and set something up that's fully automated that rocks and rocks. And that's what RSS Master is. So,
yeah, if this is, and I'll come back to domain valuation, is if you have a site and it's making, let's say, $100 a month on AdSense revenue, but you also you're building your Facebook audience, you're doing, and you have provable income off of Facebook ads, and you're using it as a traffic funnel, and you start making enough revenue, and let's say you're making $500 a month off one WordPress site. You do that 12 times, that's $6,000. How people buy domain names that have a revenue source is usually 2 times gross. So if you've got a $6,000 revenue stream that's provable and you want to sell that asset down the road, they're going to pay you $12,000. The offer should start at $12,000, possibly even higher if it's a brandable domain name. So you're building an asset with the feeds coming in, and it is a set it and forget it type deal. So I know we're right at 2 hours. If there's no more questions, I say we end the call and wish everybody a happy weekend here.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Damon. Thanks for coming on, Wayne. Really appreciate it. That was a really great review on the software. when you went through. Very, very good. Guys, thank you so much for coming in. Thanks again on the short notice. And I'll be getting this replay out to everybody in case you came in late. No, a couple of people came in last minute. But Damon, thank you so much for your time.
Thank y'all. Bye-bye.
All right, cheers.
Cheers, everyone.